The title of my presentation is 40 million jobs by 2030. This is not a joke. This is not a figure out of the hat. It is real, and it didn't start today. It is because of fragmentation of policies, inconsistency, and not following up with what plans that Nigeria has said it will do. So today we have youth that are not employed, and by 2030, we need to have 40 million jobs on the ground. Which means today we should be producing 2.8 million jobs. That's where we are. But we believe in the Nigerian Economic Summit Group that a private sector-led off-grid solution can do this. You cannot have growth without power, and you cannot have inclusion without growth. But power is the trigger. So here is the reason why we think this is possible. First of all, we have the e-vision 30-30-30, which means we've managed to scale up from 8% renewable energy to 36% today. And we've done a little bit of field work on 100 kilowatts in a particular community in Ondo State that shows that with 100 kilowatts, with a good survey plan, you can produce 640 jobs. Using that as a basis and going around 18 clusters, you can have about 3 million jobs in 3 years. But it has to be followed with a plan, not just haphazard and not fragmented. A solid plan that is followed with discipline. Here is Efe. He is a barber. He has been able to grow his business from 2 people to about 8 people in, I think, about 8 months. And he has expanded his shop into 3 branches in 2 years and paid off his loans. So it is possible, but it requires discipline, it requires a plan, and it requires a policy that backs it. Next. Potentially, cooperatives existing today can support this. We currently have 750 billion loss in fruits and vegetables alone. This is not a figure out of the hat, it is real. And why do we have these losses? Women cultivate in millions of farms around the country. They don't have cold storage. They don't have ability to process. And so a lot of the vegetable goes to waste. But these are existing facilities that can be scaled up, that have not been scaled up, because we simply do not have social inclusion, financial access for small cooperatives in farms around the country. Right there is a rice milling machine. It is solar powered. So these things are possible, the technologies exist. But why is it not happening? That's the question. Go on. Again, for us to have successful farming, scaled to where we're supposed to be for food security, we must be able to advertise from Kaura Namoda, deep in the village, I don't care where it is. You should be able to use your phone and text or on a digital platform, I have 5 tons of maize here. And you can do e-commerce that way. How can this happen? Solar-powered infrastructure. It's possible. It's been done, but it hasn't gone to scale. These are pictures of existing things around Africa, not just in Nigeria, but around Africa. And I'm sure everybody in this room must have heard about solar kiosks. These solar kiosks today can be used for e-learning. They can be, as you can see over there, they can be used for e-commerce and many other opportunities that people are looking to scale. So how can the international community contribute to this development? This is an existing plant. It's like a medium to large scale plant, Dangote Cement in Ogun State. This is off-grid, clearly. And this can be replicated. Why isn't it being replicated? Why is it only Dangote that has access to build this sort of infrastructure? Why isn't there inclusion? What is happening? Go on. So we talk about food security and import substitution. We have been saying this for decades. Ever since I was doing my PhD, I have been hearing about food security and import substitution. It's not happening. Why? First of all, we can't have food security even at the level of production today. The reason why we don't have it is that we're not able to store, process the food that we produce in the villages. And if we really want to empower the women to do food security, then we have to be able to give them access, social and financial access to little processing plants. These things don't cost a lot of money. It's just to have a plan, make it work, apply the discipline, and make sure that people are able to pay back. Many people who work with cooperatives, especially women cooperatives, know that 98% of the time they refund the money. So they are a reliable source. So then why are they not having access? These are the things that we need to think about. Then for our youth, we talk about import substitution. It is our youth that will drive mechanized agriculture, not the aging farming population, not the informal sector. It is the youth. They will be interested in agro-industrialization. But we have to make this happen. We have to be able to have investments to deliver frameworks, standards, training, and equipment for this kind of industrialization. And this is the kind of conversation we want to have with the international community. Private sector investment. Not aid, not grants, but investments that are profitable. And I think that having been very successful with the Nigerian Eurobond in London, I'm sure everybody heard about it, Nigeria is a destination for investments. So people know that if you do invest in Nigeria, yes, it's high risk, but it can have your investments profitable, even though it might be long term. We need to have these conversations to drive social and financial inclusion. Last slide. The fourth industrial revolution is a buzzword, as it appears, but it is happening. By 2030, 2035, globally, people will be able to crash production because of artificial intelligence, robotics, digital solutions. Where are we in the picture? Without power, we cannot do this. And this is where our youth are. The film industry can produce 5 billion jobs if they have the right infrastructure and power. The innovations also need to be covered with intellectual property. A lot of people are developing things today and it's being stolen from them. They're unable to go to scale because when they provide a design, suddenly it's taken away. They never hear of it. The next thing, it comes out in the market as in somebody else's name. This happened a long time ago, which the most popular would be the production of poundo yam. We in Nigeria, we like pounded yam. And Professor Makanjola designed one. But it was taken away from him, produced in Japan, and returned to Nigeria. We must have intellectual platforms that protect intellectual property for the youth. And that is also a source of income and a source of growth for startups. So that in a nutshell is what I want to say. Over there is a picture of a rice milling plant fabricated by a Nigerian last year. He has patented it, but he cannot get loans to go to scale. And we know that we can easily quadruple the production of rice in Nigeria by simply having such rice fabrication plants, improving the way we cultivate, which we are doing, by the way, currently, but we need to go to scale. We need financial access. We need social access. Social access, I mean training, access to innovations, access to knowledge and other things that we need to be able to go to scale and become a country that provides jobs for its youth. I think we owe our youth an apology. And I think we need to start that apology by driving frameworks and models that will create jobs for them. Thank you.